Is it just me, or every other person I talk to, every other video I watch, it's someone planning their exit out of Canada in the next 1 to 2 years, if not for sure in the next 3 years? I feel like faith and hope in the government in this country is at an all-time low right now.
120,000 Canadians left the country last year for the United States. That is the highest emigration of Canadians ever on record. There's never been more Canadian people that have left. There are probably people that are actually making a good salary saying, I've had enough of this. I got Siberian weather. I pay 50% of my money to Mark Carney and the boys. I worked till July 15th till I started finally taking some of my own money home. And it's just not a very fun place to be. Being replaced by the third world, standard of living's going down. And to be honest, I don't want to go to Lake Louise and see toilet paper and fecal matter all around the edges of it. I want to go to a place where I'm treated well, I'm treated best, I'm appreciated. And Canada is not the place. The birth rates are 1.26.
Canada's got to be one of the worst places to live in the world. I was calculating my expenses last night, and if I gross make $10K a month, then 30% of that is going towards taxes, and then another 20 to 30% of that is going towards overhead. So I'm only walking away with 35-40% gross profit, and it's like, how am I supposed to get ahead living in Canada? Like, I need to go move to Bali or something where I can actually afford to live and make money and become rich. Canada sucks.
A few years ago, people from all over the world dreamed of moving to Canada. It was known as the land of opportunity, a place with great healthcare, safety, stability, and a chance to build a better life. But lately, something interesting has been happening online. More and more Canadians, and even immigrants who once considered Canada their dream destination, are saying they're thinking about leaving. Some blame the cost of living. Others point to taxes, housing, or the economy. And some say they're simply looking for a better quality of life somewhere else. Before we get into it, if you enjoy videos like this, please support the channel by subscribing, liking the video, and don't forget to hype the video. It really helps the channel grow and lets me know you want to see more content like this. Now, let's hear what people are saying.
The Canadian dream is dead. Nobody wants to say this out loud, so I will. You heard me right. The Canadian dream is dead, and the people who build their lives around it are quietly walking away. Record numbers of Canadians are leaving, not for vacation, not for a gap year, but for good. Texas, Florida, Arizona. They're buying homes they can actually afford, and they're keeping more of what they earn. They're starting businesses without watching the government take half before they even get started. I know because I was one of them. 3 years ago, my family left Canada for Florida, and we didn't know anyone. We didn't have a roadmap. We just knew that working harder and still falling behind wasn't the life we wanted to accept anymore. And here's what surprised me the most. Nobody tried to convince us to come back, because everyone we talked to was asking how we did it. And you know what Canada's response to all of this was? Silence. Or worse, making you feel like wanting more means you're ungrateful. Like ambition is a character flaw. They need you to believe that staying is loyalty, that comfort is the same as success, that the ceiling on your life is just how things are. But people are done buying it. The exodus is real. The lineups at the US consulates are real, and nobody who leaves seems to regret it. So if you've been sitting there wondering whether the life you're living is actually the life you want, or just the one you settled for, maybe it's time to ask yourself a harder question. What would your life look like if you stopped waiting for permission?
Isn't it so funny that a country that was known for immigration, for inviting people from all around the world, is now becoming famous for emigration, which means Canadians who are living in Canada and residents living in Canada are now leaving Canada to go to other countries. Yeah, you heard that right. This is not fake news. This is happening. Statistics Canada has published reports that the number of people leaving Canada, listen to this, the number of people leaving Canada reached a record high in 2025 with over 120,000 Canadians emigrating. That is, they're leaving Canada for other countries. Why do you think this is happening? It's not easy for people to leave Canada, but things must be really bad. And I tell you, they are bad that Canadians have started to leave Canada. It's starting, and this is not good for Canada.
The dumb ones are staying, but the smart ones are leaving. And that's according to a new report that came out that 120,000 Canadians moved to a foreign country in 2025, with 55% of them being mid-career professionals in their peak earning years. To make matters worse, doctors, engineers, and scientists are leaving Canada at double the rate of low-skills worker. Because Canada definitely needs to lose more doctors because, we don't have a medical fucking system issue at all. But why would people leave? Well, when you consider that we share the longest undefended border in the world with the world's most powerful economy that tends to have 38% more productivity, more job opening, lower unemployment rate, higher wages, lower taxation, better weather, more rights, more freedom, and just a better entrepreneurial market, well, the choice becomes obvious. I'm gonna ask a really uncomfortable question. What does Canada have that other countries don't? And the truth is, well, nothing. Canada actually lags behind in the G7. Hell, it's been lagging for the last decade in all OECD. That's the top 34 economies of the world. So no wonder that educated and or talented individuals that have the opportunity and the ability to leave end up leaving. I mean, why would you not go to the place where you're the most appreciated? Why would you stay in a place that is hell-bent on taxing you to the brink, telling you you're not doing enough, and overall just kind of despises anyone who has a bit of success? Because that's the sad reality of Canada. Here, we don't promote excellency. We destroy it.
Hey guys, it's Isaac from IG Mortgages. I just quickly wanted to talk about emigration. So, Canadians leaving Canada or people leaving Canada. Right now, currently in the last few years, we've seen the largest increase of Canadians leaving the country, going to other places for, better opportunities. What's alarming is the people that are leaving are professionals, ages on average from 25 to 49, working professionals, educated, university educated people. And they're all leaving for different reasons. Some are leaving for political reasons. Some are leaving for better opportunities, maybe lower cost of living outside of Canada. We do pay a lot of taxes here as well, so maybe there's a tax incentive to leave. But it is some, important information because we haven't seen such high levels of emigration since the 60s. So, I really hope that things get better and Canadians want to stay because we do have a beautiful, rich country full of natural minerals and resources, which we could tap into to better our economy. But I think there's going to have to be some changes when it comes to political decisions, being more productive as a country overall. And, I'm even getting clients just the other day. One of my clients reached out to me, is selling his property that he located in Alberta about 6 years ago, selling it, made some money, and he's deciding to leave as well. And he's got a great paying job. And he decided that for him and his family, that's the best decision. He's going to live a much better life or better quality of life, in his opinion, at least in another country. So let me know your thoughts. Are you thinking of leaving the country or going elsewhere or looking for better opportunities? Would like to hear from everybody.
After watching those clips, one thing becomes pretty clear. This isn't just about one issue. For some people, it's the rising cost of living. For others, it's housing, taxes, or feeling like they're working harder but getting less in return. And then, there are people who simply don't feel connected socially and believe life might be better somewhere else. What stood out to you the most from these first videos? Do you agree with any of the points they made, or do you think they're exaggerating? Let me know in the comments.
It's been a nightmare. It's been an economic nightmare in Canada.
Everybody's talking about, I want to leave this country, and everybody just wants to leave, but where are you going to go?
When it comes to this place, there's more opportunity. The weather's amazing. If you want a job, you'll get a job. We can't say the same thing for North America. We've gone downhill since the pandemic in a global sense, but this is the one place where I notice people aren't suffering to survive. Like, we know people that have gotten their university degrees that are on the verge of going homeless, and that's not happening here, but it's happening in places like Canada.
Is it changing your environment that actually makes you happy, or is it your mindset?
We are having our first 4th of July party, but the amount of Canadians that are here is insane.
Hi, I'm Jamie from Brantford, Ontario.
I'm Stacey from Hamilton, Ontario.
I'm Isaiah from Brantford, Ontario.
Iggy from Barrie, Ontario.
Andreas from Toronto, Canada.
Colin from Mississauga, Ontario.
I'm Jan from Nova Scotia. I'm Taylor from Ajax, Ontario.
I'm Alex, I'm from Barrie, Ontario.
My name's Victoria, I'm from Brantford, Ontario.
My name's Michelle and I'm from Toronto, Ontario.
I'm Zamoy and I'm from Toronto, Ontario.
Hey, I'm Dave from Mississauga, Ontario.
You said you're from Canada.
Yes.
How do you feel about all the extra taxes and the healthcare that you have to pay for there?
It's awful. Everybody thinks that we have it all free there, but nothing's free. You got to pay for it, right? I have a little piece of glass in my finger. I've been waiting to get it surgically removed for months now. Wow. Yeah.
This idea of universal healthcare, it sounds really nice, but if everybody has access to it, you're going to be waiting in line forever.
We are waiting in line, yeah.
Exactly.
And it takes months and months to get an MRI or a CAT scan or what have you, yeah.
Oh, she's a hot one today. I know it's about 32 out, then the humidity on top of that. It's pretty hot. Just the way I like it, actually. I'm not complaining. I could live in this 24/7. Take this over January weather any day of the week. But neither here nor there. Did you see the trailer with the Canadians leaving? There's a picture on the internet, and in the comments there was the actual, well, in one of the pictures on one of the comments, there was the actual owner of that trailer that actually commented saying, yep, this is not AI. It's a U-Haul truck pulling a trailer, a closed-in trailer, and on the back it says 4 more Canadians leaving Canada. We're tired, or we're not funding your BS anymore, basically to the Liberals saying, see ya, 4 more Canadians left. Did you know that just in 2026, and I think this is a number that's fairly accurate, over 100,000 Canadians have left this country or planning on leaving? Not necessarily left, but over 100,000 Canadians have either taken a leap and left this country or are taking the steps necessary to leave this country. There's a great exodus over the last few years. It's 250,000 or 400,000 or whatever it is that have already left. So my take on it is this. This is my personal opinion. If nothing changes and the Liberals stay in power, that number is going to rise exponentially. Big time. And guess what? I just may be one. Now, I know you're going to have the haters. Oh, see you, traitor. See you. You never were a Canadian and all this stuff. Listen, I'd rather live in another country than live in Canada under tyranny and communism. Any day of the week. People escape their countries by the hordes. They escape communism and tyranny to come here. Now, this country is turning into it. Why wouldn't it be feasible for Canadians to leave instead of living under communism and tyranny? That's the lifestyle you want for you and your kids and your grandkids, locked in, now digital ID coming next year. You don't believe me? Watch Carney's statement. If that's how you want to live your life and see your kids and grandkids grow up, have at her. But not this guy. This could be the end of Canada as we know it.
What's really interesting is where people say they're moving. The United States comes up a lot because of higher earning potential and lower taxes in some states. Others mention places where they believe their money goes further and they can enjoy a better quality of life. If you had the opportunity to move anywhere in the world, would you stay in Canada or leave? And if you'd leave, where would you go? I'd love to read your answers in the comments.
Canada has completely gone to shit. I left Canada and it had nothing to do with the weather. It had everything to do with opportunity, and it's just going in a downhill direction. I grew up believing Canada was the place where if you worked hard, got educated, and stayed disciplined and did your part, you'd eventually build a good life. I'm not talking about being rich and having millions of dollars, but a good life, right? Like, our parents didn't have millions, but they were able to afford a house, raise their kids with one job and one person staying at home. But as I entered the professional world in the US, I started noticing that Canada is not the land of opportunity, whereas the US still is. The salaries didn't match the reality of living in Canada anymore. Okay, companies want insane qualifications. They want years of experience, technical skills, even leadership experience, where if you're just out of college or university, how are you supposed to have all that? And then they offer salaries that barely let you survive in major cities. Meanwhile, like, you have rent exploding, housing is already impossible, taxes are high, and groceries are expensive. I'm in San Francisco, and condos and houses cost anywhere between 1 to 1.5 million, depending on where you live. It makes sense to me. The weather's beautiful. There's a lot of technology here. There's a lot of reasons why you would pay more to live here. But why would you pay so much to live in the GTA? So everyone in Canada has just accepted this as their way of life, and no one's doing anything about it. So I started looking at the US, and I realized that people with the exact same skills as me were making almost double in pay, especially in tech. And then all of a sudden it hit me. Canada has become a country where ambitious people struggle to grow. And before people twist this, it's not about blaming immigrants or anything like that. I come from an immigrant background myself. The problem is that Canada has brought in a massive population of people, okay, of immigrants, without creating enough high-paying jobs, enough housing, or enough infrastructure to support it. So now what? You have highly educated immigrants and international students working low-income jobs because there simply aren't enough opportunities out there. Okay, you have young professionals leaving the country because they feel stuck. And you have an entire generation feeling like no matter how hard they work, they will never get ahead. They've just accepted that. And that's why I left, because I refused to accept that. I moved to San Francisco because I wanted to be around bigger opportunities, bigger companies, and a culture that thinks big and rewards ambition. And honestly, the difference was immediate. Canada is full of amazing people, talented people, but the system right now, it's failing ambitious young professionals and is no longer the place to be. So I'm curious to hear from you. Do you think Canada is still the place to be? And if you had an opportunity in the US, would you leave Canada for it? Or do you think Canada has a way to turn itself around?
To all Canadians out there who are actually criticizing and hating Canadians that are leaving Canada, listen up. It's none of your freaking business. We're Canadians who are suffering, okay? There are Canadians out there that are suffering from not getting the medical health care they need. And you're gonna tell them to be patriotic and wait in line in Canada to be able to, wait a year before they can get some kind of medical treatment? You freaking insane. I mean, there are family members suffering, and I'm narrowing down on a very important aspect here. Canadians who are waiting in line for healthcare, for basic healthcare. You're frowning upon those Canadians going outside to get medical care that they need because Canada has failed them? Are you insane? Really?
One thing I found interesting while putting this video together is that these stories aren't all coming from the same type of person. Some were born and raised in Canada. Others came here as immigrants when they were children. Some are entrepreneurs. Others are working regular jobs. Yet many of them are asking the same question: is Canada still giving people the opportunities it once promised? Of course, social media only tells part of the story. People who are happy with where they live usually don't make viral videos talking about it. So it's important to remember that these clips represent personal experiences, not everyone's reality. At the same time, it would also be unfair to ignore the concerns being raised. Housing affordability, grocery prices, wages, taxes, and the overall cost of living have become major topics across the country. Whether people decide to stay or leave, those concerns are very real for many Canadians. The bigger question is whether this is just a temporary phase or the beginning of a long-term trend. If more skilled workers, entrepreneurs, and young professionals continue leaving, what does that mean for Canada's future? And if conditions improve, will those people come back? Now it's your turn. If you're living in Canada, have you ever seriously considered leaving? If you've already left, was it worth it? And if you're planning to move to Canada, has hearing these stories changed your perspective? Keep the discussion respectful because everyone's experience is different, and that's what makes conversations like this valuable. If you enjoyed this video, please support the channel by subscribing, giving this video a like, and don't forget to hype the video. Your support helps me continue making content like this, and I'd really appreciate it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.